All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Good day. Good day. Getting a little bit of a late start here today. It worked out though. I was on the phone. I was on a Zoom call actually with a very old friend and one of my earliest marketing mentors, Joshua Shafran. And Joshua Shafran wrote Income for Life and
Okay.
created the NPOD system, which I believe was the first home study course that ever taught anyone how to build an internet business. And it was sold on cassette tape.
Oh, cool.
Cassette
Yeah, it's
tape.
old school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I first got it on CD when Nitro Marketing published him, and I was paying attention to Nitro Marketing back in the day. And Joshua and I became lifelong friends. We've partnered up on a few different things, and we hadn't caught up in a good long while. And so we had a really good conversation, and it was going over. So I'm glad
Awesome.
you were also running a little bit late this morning. But
Yeah.
you said something happened with your sleep.
Yeah. So I guess I forgot to set my alarm. It didn't go off. And yeah, usually I'll always set my alarm right before I go to bed. Maybe there's something there. I should set it earlier in the day so it's done. But yeah, so my alarm didn't go off and I slept until I woke up naturally, which I haven't done in a very long time. And I woke up at 7:41.
All right. All right.
And yeah, it was the deepest sleep I've had in probably, I don't know how many weeks since I started trying to wake up early every morning. And yeah, it's the longest consecutive sleep I've had in ages.
What time did you go to bed?
I did better last night. I got to bed by midnight, which is that's a huge improvement from like, it's been 2 a.m. the past week.
And just for clarity, when you say it's been 2 a.m, is that the time that you're getting in bed or the time that you're drifting off?
That's when I'm falling asleep.
Like, are you getting in bed by midnight most of the time, just lying there for 2 hours?
Yeah, it takes me a while to unwind after like work and everything. Yeah, it takes me like an hour and a half. I'll watch a movie or something for like the last hour, like watch a documentary, watch a movie, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. And so, what did you, if anything, do differently yesterday?
Yeah, so I did a lot of things differently. I was really thinking about a lot of the different things that we've been talking about in our live streams the past several days, like this week specifically, about like implementing early in the day the things that you would normally put off till later. And that's something that I was not even aware that I was doing. It was fully on a subconscious level.
Oh, you didn't have awareness over it.
I
Okay.
had no awareness over it. And it turned out to be the root cause of why I was going to bed so late at night.
Because you procrastinated all day.
Yeah, and I was doing all kinds of things during the day that, yeah,
Give
they
us some
needed.
examples. What are some examples of things you became aware of?
Okay, so
And dude, thank you for your like openness and vulnerability and willing to share this kind of like real deal stuff. This is
yeah,
good.
no, this is how we overcome it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the two main key things that I identified were live streaming and my physical exercise. I put it off till I noticed, okay, I'm live streaming at midnight and I'm doing sit-ups, push-ups, and pull-ups at 1 a.m. Right? And I'm like, that shouldn't be a thing.
No.
I should be asleep by then. That stuff should be long done. And then I also became aware of all the things that I was doing during the day when I should have been doing those the sit-ups, push-ups, and pull-ups and live streaming. And yeah, it's stuff that I should be doing last instead of first.
Totally.
And then I noticed that there's all kinds of like little filler activities that I use on a subconscious level to
Procrastinate.
divert me from the thing that needs to be done. Okay, so for an example, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go do my exercise right now, and I'll walk over towards the area where I do that. And I'll be like, oh, and I'll start veering off to the side, like, oh, I need to feed the fish, and oh
Right.
shit, there's a couple of dishes in the sink. I should wash those, and I'll just kind of bounce from one thing to the other, like stuff that really doesn't matter. Like, yeah, it needs to be done, but I can do it later after I do the important thing, and it's all completely on autopilot, subconscious, until you bring awareness to it. And
Yep.
that's been really changing. So yesterday was my first day of implementing these changes, and I had to just continuously catch myself all throughout the day. And I was not perfect by any means, and I know I can improve, but I did significantly better. And I got, I was finished with what I needed to do by like 10:30 or
Right.
10 instead of midnight.
So,
And I got to bed. I fell asleep at midnight instead of 2.
this is a really interesting point, Eric, because there's a reminder for me, because first of all, congratulations on realizing that one of the reasons you were staying up so late is because you were procrastinating doing the stuff that you had the most resistance around, that probably will make the biggest difference in your life and your business.
Right.
And so, like, we didn't even talk about that until just now. Like, that's a huge insight and revelation. And most of the most successful, active founders, entrepreneurs, and CEOs that I know who are actively crushing it today, or at a given point, get all their important work done before noon.
Nice.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
And often it's like by 10 because they start at 7. Okay.
All right. Yep.
And it's basically, you get the 3 most critical things you got to get done. These aren't your normal daily routine things. These aren't your normal BS things. These are like the most important things you have to get done today. These 3 things, get them done. And and you get them done before noon. You prioritize the ones that need the most attention, and then the stuff that is ongoing, you do, but you don't prioritize the doing, right? That doesn't mean you start slacking off for the rest of the day, but it's just like, in terms of really doing the things to move your life or your business forward, banging that out first thing in the morning, and then you have this mental and emotional freedom to just kind of let go and enjoy the rest of the day. It doesn't mean don't do anything the rest of the day, but like, you got that critical stuff done. And this happens at, like, even if you're a CEO and you have 1,500 people that work for your company, the same principle's still there. There's still this crap that you got to do that's important that you haven't done and have resistance around, right? You haven't normalized and or have resistance around, and you need to do it. Whether it's making a phone call you don't want to make, firing an employee you don't want to fire because they, because you hate firing people. Whether it's like, or writing the notes for a board meeting that you don't want to deal with, or whatever. It's just we all have these different things, and it can be even on a personal level with your household chores, right? Yep. Like, in some ways, you could say it's a good habit whenever you notice the dishes to do them. It probably keeps you with cleaner dishes, but at the same, it's better than neglecting them. But at the same time, just because you prioritize something doesn't give you permission to completely neglect all the other ongoing things you need to do. They just don't take top priority today, right?
Totally. Yep.
Cool. It's cool. So I've noticed that, well, actually, is there anything else that you did different yesterday?
Those were the main key things. Yeah. There probably is. I can't think of anything right off.
Cool. Yeah. Rock and roll. Well, keep it up. And so for you, 2 of the things that you were procrastinating on were exercise
Yeah,
and live streaming.
those were the two main ones. Yeah.
And for
And
you, how do you classify, like, like, how do you know when you've done enough exercise?
I have a check sheet that I use where I keep track of how many sets I do. And
Great.
yeah, I had completely fallen off of my exercise practice for like a month straight until the past like week and a half or two. And yeah, I guess the past 2 weeks I've been really active again. And
Great.
I have my goal is to do 5 sets, and I've been doing 3 just to kind of warm back up into it. And I've been doing that consistently, like 5 or 6 days a week. And yesterday I did 4. I intended to do a full 5, and then I fell asleep.
What all did you do?
So I have a yoga swing, and I'll hang upside down from my waist in the yoga swing and do like upside down sit-ups. I'll do 40 reps per set, and then I do 25 push-ups and then 10 pull-ups, and I repeat that 5 times a day.
5 times a day.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So so you're keeping track of exercise with numbers and sets, and you're steadily improving and increasing those over time.
Yep. Right.
And the live streaming, how do you know when you've done enough live streaming?
Well, I do one a day,
Yeah.
and yeah, how do I know when I've done enough? I guess when I've exhausted the topic that I have, I'll just go on. Maybe I need to have more structure with that. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll
Well,
come up
maybe
with
or
a
maybe
topic.
not. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
maybe
just,
not.
it feels like, look, I live stream every day. That's how I measure it. It's a binary. It's a yes or no.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So that's okay. That's legit, right?
Yep.
So I didn't realize that. I knew you were talking about procrastination, and I was talking about traffic, and then I didn't know it was going to dovetail so nicely. So,
Okay.
so I guess the question is, why? I know the answer, but why do you live stream every day?
Yeah. Why do I live stream every day? That's because
Or why did you start live streaming every day?
well, I know it's the best way I can connect with my audience. It's like the most real and authentic form of content. It's like every other form of content is very curated. There's a ton of editing and
Right.
it's all polished up for your audience to see, but it's not necessarily like, I don't know. The thing about live stream is it's super uncut, raw, and authentic. And yeah, there's mistakes and quirks, and there's no editing at all. And your audience has a chance to interact with you in real time. That's a huge difference that no other content has. You don't have the ability to do that with any other form of content. And yeah, it's really the best way to, build that know, like, and trust factor with your audience to be able to connect with them on that level where
It's true. It's
just
true.
showing up as you are, and yeah, having that real-time interaction.
Live streaming is so interesting because it's different on every platform, and it works a little different on every platform.
Right.
We're actively live streaming in 8 different spaces right now.
Yep.
And in the meantime, I know TikTok live streaming is blowing up. And so I'm looking forward to being able to do that with our new TikTok channel, getshitdone.com. And as that grows, that'll be cool. But live streaming on any platform really does create a ton of content, and it is sometimes frustrating and sometimes cool when you're creating content and doing live streams, but nobody seems to be watching or interacting, right? That
Right.
is infuriating. And so what we've realized is that live streaming on Facebook, for example, got a lot more traction during the live streams until all the short form video stuff started gaining a lot more popularity and traction on Facebook. And so now Facebook live streaming is a great way of connecting with your audience, but it's also a great way of creating video content that you can then repurpose and use all over your social media across the board, right?
Totally.
So
Yeah.
still, at the end of the day, it's connect with your audience and grow your audience, right? So here's what I would ask you, Eric. You know that it's the best way to connect with your audience organically. You know that it's the best way to grow your audience organically. What was it, or has it been, that's caused you to procrastinate?
It kind of glitched out there. What was that?
What's caused you to procrastinate until the very end of your evening on live streaming, when you know that live streaming is one of the best ways to grow your audience, connect with your list? Why do you think you were procrastinating on that?
Right. Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that too. And probably because it's challenging. It's a little bit uncomfortable, even though I've had lots of practice doing it, and it's a lot more comfortable than, I used to be terrified of doing it when I first started live streaming. It was,
Right.
I felt just complete resistance to it, and I did it anyway every day. And yeah, but yet there's still some sort of resistance there, more on a subconscious level at this point. But yeah, I think that's a factor. And sometimes coming up with ideas to talk about can take some time. And yeah, so that's a challenge as well.
Indeed.
Yep.
Cool. So a question I want to ask our viewers is, what is your favorite source of traffic? And if you're feeling like telling us more, and why, right? Is it organic? Is it paid? And what platform or methodology you use to get that traffic for your business, right? And part of the question is, practically speaking, what's the traffic source? But the other thing is, do you procrastinate on getting traffic? Do you also fall into that category? I hate to admit it, Eric, but I also procrastinate on doing traffic driving activities that I know will make an impact. For some reason, I have some resistance to it.
Okay.
And what
are some examples of that?
I have never done a deep dive on teaching myself paid advertising. I've had access to so many courses that I've bought or been given on paid advertising methods, and I've always had a belief about myself that I was not good or couldn't be good at paid advertising because I'm not organized, or I'm not this, or I'm not that, or I'm not good at looking at data, or all these types of things.
All right.
And so I will conveniently skip over aspects of home study programs and courses that involve paid media. Why?
Okay.
It's veering off course. It's going to feed the fish. It's the same thing. And so that's an example. You have significantly more self-discipline when it comes to daily live streaming by yourself than I do.
All right.
I love to live stream every day. I teach people to live stream every day, and I am challenged by live streaming every day solo, but I can do it really easily if I have a partner who's going to show up almost all the time. It'll happen, right?
Yep.
So I feel that it's a crutch, but it also happened, it also is a crutch that you can find a solution to, and
Sure.
There are lots of people who feel that way. So that doesn't necessarily justify it, but it's a real deal thing. I remember back in the day when I had my local direct mail classified ad driven hypnosis business that I told you about. I would procrastinate on mailing the special reports, putting them in the envelopes and licking the envelopes and sending them off. The very thing that would result in paid clients for me, I would absolutely resist taking the action every day to do the thing that would actually make the money. For many years, I convinced myself that I was terrible at high ticket sales and I could never be good at it because I had failed at every door-to-door sales situation I had ever done. And so I was convinced that I sucked at sales, but I was good at marketing. And then
Okay.
I was like, and then I got into a position where I really needed to make some money, and learning high ticket sales was kind of the only option.
Yeah.
And I did. And I went through the pain of it. And now I'm great at it and I enjoy doing it. And it's a wonderful skill to have.
Great.
So
Yeah.
we all do this. It's like I'm not immune, but it's a matter of, can you see it? And are you going to do something about it?
Yeah.
Right?
No, that awareness is key. Without awareness, yeah, obviously nothing can happen. No change.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And then once there is the awareness, yeah, exactly. Are you going to do anything about it?
Right.
And not just once, but like consistently do something about it.
Yeah, it's
Like,
interesting when the switch flips in someone's mind and they go. Some people are just sporadic exclusively, or maybe I know there are areas of my life where I'm sporadic, but then other times where I like really dig into something and obsess on the change and really go after it with everything I've got.
yep.
And it seems that usually that happens when there's a life emergency.
Oh yeah. Okay.
When you develop those really kick-ass habits and you really make a change, I found that usually that happens when you have a major life emergency and like shit really hits the fan.
All
And
right.
you have to change to survive. But then I think what happens is once you've established those newfound better habits, now you're capable of achieving a much greater level of success than you have the skills or that habits or routine in your life to achieve before. And then you can achieve incredible success because you've already developed really good habits.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right.
Right.
So first good habit, this is the big takeaway today, guys. Take all the stuff in your business that you know if you did would make you the most money that you're procrastinating on, and prioritize those things first thing in the morning every single day. Okay, take the stuff you're procrastinating on that will move the needle financially in most cases. Not, you don't have to be limited to that. But if you're financially tight and you need more cash flow, do the things that you've been procrastinating on for months or years first thing tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., 7 a.m., whatever your go time is. It makes all the difference in the world. And having some sort of accountability team and accountability partner in place in order to help you do that is key. That's exactly what the Get Shit Done community is all about. If you're interested in joining a group of like-minded entrepreneurs who help each other get shit done, then go to getshitdone.com and join us. It's awesome.
Yeah, and check out the TikTok channel as well.
Check out our Get Shit Done TikTok.
Yep, there it is.
Boom, getshitdone.com. Eric.
Yeah.
You know what time it is?
It's time to get shit done.
It's time to get shit done. That's right. All right, rock and roll, guys. Well, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Eric, thank you for live streaming as always.
Yeah, thank you.
Rock and roll. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Yeah, see you guys.
G.S.D for life.
That's what.